Welcome to the Divine Living Talk Show. I'm your host, Gina DeVee, and this is your weekly segment on doing business like a queen. You are 10 minutes away from creating the ultimate success you deserve. So grab a note-taking device and let's get started. Welcome to the Divine Living Talk Show. I'm your host, Gina DeVee, and today we are talking about sexy boundaries. These are those non-negotiable declarations that you must make with yourself and your team and your clients if you are going to have a thriving business and be super happy. All right, so let's start with where this all started from the beginning. The only reason why people don't have great boundaries and healthy boundaries is due in general to codependency. Now, codependency is the need to be liked and approved of by others. And I'm not talking that this is your preference. It's like where you really need it or your day is just ruined. So what happens, and I know this from personal experience, is that I went through my life not even being aware of my own desires and boundaries because I was just addicted to what did I need to do so that everybody else would like me and approve of me, and that's how I felt safe in the world. However, that led me to be very boundaryless, and after a while it didn't feel good, and it certainly didn't create the results that I was looking for. So over time, as I got more of a sense of self and I started to surround myself with other women who modeled really great boundaries, I learned what being a queen is. And I learned that I get to let my yes be yes and my no be no, regardless of what someone else wants my yes and my no to be. So I'm going to give you some specific examples so that we can dial this in. At the beginning of my career, in this codependent place, I just thought I had to say yes to every client's schedule. Gina, can you work with me on Saturday? Sure. Gina, can you work with me on Tuesday night? Sure. And I was all over the place with my scheduling boundaries because I was just trying to accommodate everyone else's needs. Can you relate? Are you just running around based on everyone else's timeline and schedule? If that's the case for you, I'm going to invite you to take a look at what do you desire your client boundaries to be, just with something as concrete and tangible as schedule. So I remember the very first declaration I made, it was a huge one, that I was no longer going to be working on Saturdays. It was huge. Because I thought I had to work on Saturdays because that's when people were off work and that's when they could work with me. It was a whole kerfuddle. And sure enough, when I became unavailable to work on Saturday, they found the time to come in during the week. And then when I became unavailable to work evenings, my clients found the time to fit into my business hours. And today that goes on to be the same. I only coach on Mondays. You want to coach with me? You get a Monday time slot, sweetheart. And that is it. And those are my boundaries. It doesn't make me right. It makes it me. That's how I like to do my life. And I get to choose that, and so do you. So that's just one example of having great boundaries with clients. But so many other opportunities will show up for you to have great boundaries within the workplace environment. Now, sometimes you'll be blindsided by them, and it will take a couple of turkeys to show up so that you can say, oh yeah, you know what? I didn't know that I needed to set that boundary, and now I do. I always say you will never learn the most from your favorite clients. You will learn the most from the turkey clients, and you need to send them thank you notes. So in terms of, let's say you've got one-on-one client sessions or group programs that you do, it's really important that people know how to show up for success, for them to get the success in your programs, which is why it's really necessary for you to set your boundaries. So whether it's in a Facebook group that you have going on, what are your boundaries? Are people allowed to pitch their programs? Are they allowed to post anytime, share resources? Whatever they are, you get to pick. It's your business, which makes it super exciting. What you need to learn to get good at, though, is when people aren't happy with your boundaries. So this is where that confrontation can tend to take place, where you will be tempted to violate the boundaries that you've set up, or where you will be tempted to say, oh, well, it's not that important, it doesn't matter, and like move in the direction of just accommodating other people's needs. But I'm here to let you know that there's probably a reason for you that you have set up the boundary that you have. So I'm here to support you in learning what are the boundaries that you need to put in place so that you can do your best work. I'll give you an example. Before my live events, my events are very spontaneous, they're very intuitive, they're very much in the process, they're not scripted, they're not agendaized. And so I have set a boundary with my team and my clients that the week before an event, nobody gets to bother me. It's blackout days, because that's when I'm getting my downloads. That's when I'm reading, I'm meditating specifically about what I'm going to say and do and create when I go and get on stage. So everyone knows there's no modules to review, there's no regular meetings, all of that. That is a boundary, because I have learned that I will do my best work and serve my clients the best if I have safeguarded that time for me. So sometimes it can look sort of selfish, but when you understand that you taking care of you is going to make you of even greater service, that just makes everyone so much happier. They don't always love it, like, because I'll get the emails of, hey, Gina, I just have a quick question. Not the week before. Then there's the week after. My events are full on and super intense, and I have decided that I am divine living and not divine working all the time. So somewhere in the 3 to 5 day range after every single one of my events, I take time to enjoy whatever exotic region I am in the world. I take time to have a vacation. I take time to relax and not do anything and decompress from this really intense event that has been super life-changing for all of these women. My team also knows, my friends and family know, you don't bother me during that time either, because that's where I'm also giving that to me. It is a boundary I have set up. So I'll tell you one more, which I wasn't planning on saying this one right now, but I'm going to do it fast. Another boundary I set up during my live events is I wear heels. I always will. If you ever see me at a live event, I'm not wearing heels, something has gone terribly wrong. However, it's not completely pain-free to go through 10-hour live event days dancing and being on your feet all day in your stilettos. So I arrange for a foot massage therapist to come in every live event day at lunch and massage my calves and feet. Now, at the beginning, Glenn was like, what are you doing? This is unnecessary. You can't do that in front of the team. And I was like, this is my boundary. My boundary is I wear heels, and my boundary is I take care of my body and I feel good as well. So people don't necessarily need to like your boundaries. You do. So don't give up on you, and if you think that these are ridiculous needs or whatever your boundaries are for you. You can do this with kids, you can do this with friends, family members, team members. It's really about you gaining a sense of self. And trust me, I can tell you this for sure, in my group programs, people are thrilled with my boundaries after a little bit of time at least. When they know that my Facebook groups, you only get to talk in a high vibe, positive way. There's zero complaining, negativity, negative downloads, any of that. It's a boundary that I set up. They're also pitch free. You don't get to pitch in my Facebook groups. And you will see that your favorite clients will thank you for that. They'll thank you for the boundaries that you're setting up. So really give yourself permission to say no, to create these non-negotiables. Another boundary that you can give to yourself is, what level are you going to let your bank account get to? I remember at the beginning, I was just trying to make money and I wasn't even thinking about it until I set a boundary for myself and I created a non-negotiable. I remember the last time I got a bounce check fee or like insufficient fund charge, I promised myself, because it'd been over a decade of those, that I would never let my bank account get under $1,000. I was just like, that was a boundary. That was a non-negotiable that I was setting for me, so that I was no longer going to be wasting my money on these like insufficient fund charges. And then over the years, that number increased, but the boundary has never changed, that I as a woman have decided what level of money will always be in my bank account. So you can see how freeing this is. You can see how much fun this is. You can see how necessary it is for you to set these non-negotiable boundaries with team members, with clients, with yourself, with friends and family, so that you can totally be living your life in a way that just feels so in service to the way that you want to live life. Yes, you're doing your mission, you're getting your success, you're doing all this and that, but the experience that you have along the way is so important. And when you get clear on your boundaries and have the audacity to stand by them, you will see just exactly how great life can get. So I'd love to hear what boundaries you're going to be putting in place this week. Leave a comment below, and please share this video with all the people in your life that you want to be honoring the boundaries that you're about to set and that could also use some help setting boundaries.